Hello and welcome. Today we're going to take a look at how to open the Dreame X50. First, the dustbin needs to be removed, as well as the top lid. Once that's done, you will find two hidden screws that are covered with typical foam rubber caps. These have to be removed first. This is slightly different from earlier models. Because of the new laser distance sensor, the hidden screws are no longer located around the bumper as they were on older devices. Next, we move to the underside of the robot. The side brush has to be removed first, followed by the main brush. After that, we can remove the bottom cover by loosening the screws. This step also requires breaking the warranty seal, which of course voids the manufacturer's warranty from Dreame. Realistically, most people will probably watch this video 1 or 2 years from now, when the devices are already out of warranty. The next step is to release the plastic clips. I simply pushed them out by hand, but using a screwdriver might actually be the faster and safer method. To be honest, I'm not a big fan of these clips. On the X40, I actually broke some of them. I've linked my X40 teardown video in the description since many internal components are similar and I won't repeat all of those details here. The clips are also located on the other side. Again, a screwdriver might help to release them more easily. The housing is very tightly fitted, and sometimes I wonder whether it wouldn't have been better to simply add 1 or 2 more screws instead of relying on so many plastic clips. On the other hand, this design may help with sealing. Eventually the cover comes off. Here you can see the clips more clearly. Fortunately, they are fairly sturdy. Next, we briefly see the motor responsible for lifting and lowering the brush assembly. After that, the battery needs to be removed. It sits very tightly in the housing and unfortunately there is no pull tab, so I carefully used a screwdriver to help lift it out. First you need to release the locking tab on the connector, then the battery can be removed. At the end of the video, I also included a small photo collage showing additional details. Next we move on to the bumper. There is a trim piece that needs to be removed first. When reassembling the robot later, it's important to make sure everything is aligned correctly. If the housing becomes difficult to screw back together, something is probably misaligned. In general, if anything feels stuck or unusually tight while disassembling, especially when separating the housing halves, you have almost certainly missed a screw somewhere. One advantage of this model is that there is no longer a sensor directly connected to the bumper via a cable. Now we move on to separating the housing itself. The upper and lower halves can be split apart, but there is a hidden screw just like on the X40. On that model it was marked in purple. I also recommend using a magnetized screwdriver. I didn't have one available during this recording, which meant I had to shake the housing occasionally to get the screws out. I'm not completely sure whether the screws near the brush head actually need to be removed or if they only secure the brush holder. To be safe, I would remove them anyway. It's only 2 additional screws. There are also 2 small screws for the plastic holder of the side mop. After removing them, the cover can be gently pried up with a screwdriver. There are clips there as well, but they release fairly easily. Once that's done, you can access the hidden screw. On the X40, I removed the plastic cover around the mop holder completely. In hindsight, I'm not even sure if that was necessary or if it could have simply been slid aside. After removing all screws, the upper housing can finally be lifted off. At that point, the robot is essentially open and you can inspect the internal components. For example, we can see the magnets here. At the rear, there is also a metal counterweight, probably used to balance the water tank weight. The rear section is largely identical to the X40 with one exception. There appears to be no second pump anymore. I'll talk about that in a moment. The front section, however, is quite different because the new laser distance sensor required more space. As a result, components like the battery and the mainboard have been moved further to the sides. The mainboard also has a new stacked form factor. I also examined the water tank and pump housing. One new feature is that the pump is mounted on a rubber pad to reduce vibrations. In the following shots, you can see the tubing system. There are now additional locking clips that were not present before. Previously, these connections were simply secured with springs. I was not able to find a second pump though. It appears that a single pump now handles everything, filling and emptying the robot as well as wetting the mop pads. In older models, there were two pumps, one for filling the robot and another for wetting the mop pads. It's possible that the docking station now handles part of this process, but I suspect the single pump simply performs all tasks now. I would have liked to show more of the new laser distance sensor, but unfortunately removing it requires taking out the main board. Since the device is still working perfectly, I decided not to go that far. There is also a cooling element on top of the board that I would have liked to remove. It is secured with push pins that must be compressed from the underside, similar to the mounting system used for some PC CPU coolers. At the suction motor exhaust, there is now a small diffuser. This spreads the airflow more evenly instead of concentrating it in one direction, which was a weak point in some older designs. Another interesting feature is a small fan that cools the motor driving the main brush. Whether it actually makes a significant difference remains to be seen, especially after several years of operation. There is also a rubber sleeve guiding the exhaust air from the suction motor to the outlet in the housing. This sleeve is additionally sealed with some kind of sealant, probably to reduce noise. At the end of the video, there are several additional images showing different parts of the robot. If you want to see the rear section in more detail, such as removing the suction motor, you should check out my X40 teardown video linked in the description. The internal design there is largely the same. I hope this video is helpful, perhaps especially in a year or two when more people start opening these devices. Thanks for watching and see you next time.